Hey, what's good, legends? I'm Tony the Phony, and today I got a Vantage guide. I can already tell I'm gonna love this character. She's super unique and just well thought out. I dig her personalities and her abilities, and also her bat. It's so freaking adorable. I'm gonna assume it's a boy bat and not,
A girl bat?
but you definitely cannot underestimate him. I'm going to talk about the passive, her tactical, and her ultimate, as well as leave some concluding thoughts and a little discussion of her role in a team and her potential in professional play. Now, starting with some knowledge about her, she is a recon legend, so she can scan beacons. I already tested this and she cannot scan beacons. With her bat-like crypto, she has to manually scan them like Bloodhound or Seer. I would think of her like a mobile sniper, not quite like Wraith who can frag in and out and get entry damage. The way that Vantage gets her entry damage is through her ultimate. If she can land enough shots, then she might be able to weaken them enough to allow for a team push. I think Respawn emphasizes that she is a support character, and I can see that, but she's not quite like Lifeline or Loba. She provides support and information gathering. Now before I talk about her abilities, I want to talk about her hitbox. She has a huge hitbox. It's a bit unfortunate that she didn't get fortified like Caustic or Gibby, because she is rather easy to hit. I say this because it's really important that you constantly play around cover. Especially if you have a sniper, there is no reason to snipe while not being behind some cover, because you will be scoped in and have the slowest strafe speed ever. You'll move like a tortoise while aiming and you'll probably take more damage than needed. I will later go into the importance of cover with her tactical ability, but just know that this is more important than any other legend. Spotter's Lens. This is her passive. She has an eyepiece kind of like a cooler Google Glasses that allows her to gather information. She can see info like legend's name, their shield, their team size, and also the distance. You can also ping them and share the information, which is really interesting and cool.
Outside the ring is where the stupid die. Let's get into level 1 shields on a mark over there. Running with a full squad.
Now she can't use her passive for every scope. She can use it unarmed or with a weapon unequipped, or with every purple scope, and the 6x scope, and the 4-10 scope. This means that basically with shotguns and SMGs, her passive is useless. It really only works with snipers, marksmen, and assault rifles, and LMGs. For some reason, it does work with the bruiser, but it does not give a bullet drop. Does not indicate it, at least. Here's an example in-game where I actually learned a lot due to her passive. Here she says the enemy level of shields and how many people are alive within that squad, and also shows the distance in the corner.
Target their level 3 shields. Running with a full squad.
With almost every gun, there's going to be a different bullet drop, so I think using Vantage will help everyone understand that mechanic a little bit better. The difference between a G7 Scout's bullet drop and a repeater's. These are just tiny details that will come easier if you play Vantage. Here's also a clip with me using the bruiser and still being able to learn information. You can see how even when I target switched, I was still shown the enemy squad's Evo shields. You can also get this little indicator that reminds me of Seer's passive that sort of helps you focus on the enemy. This little lock-on box will allow you to see an enemy through Bangalore smoke, but not through walls or cover. Echo Relocation. Vantage's tactical ability featuring the bat Echo. In general, I think of Echo as a bit of a combination of Pathy's grapple and Octane's jump pad. It is a great movement ability and something that will prove useful, but it is sort of easy to be hit in the air and can make a lot of noise. You can basically summon the bat out to a point roughly 55 meters away or 60 meters, and while holding your Q, jump over to him. You go not extremely fast, but not extremely slow to him, and are given an option at the apex of the jump to jump again. The timing is a little bit hard, so I recommend going into the firing range and really trying to master it. Midway through the jump, if you press your crouch button, you will be able to cancel the rest of your jump. Be careful with pushing onto an enemy squad because when you land, there is roughly 1 second where you cannot pull out your weapon when landing. Unless you double jump, you will actually be able to slide with your weapon out, which is really cool. You can actually get pretty decently high, probably not as high as Horizon's Q or an Ashe ult or grapple, but decently high. One of the best parts of the tactical ability is the cooldown. It is an extremely short cooldown, unlike the other legends I just mentioned. Her jump has a cooldown of 20 seconds, Loba's bracelet has a cooldown of 30 seconds, Horizon's Q has a cooldown of 20 seconds, but takes 10 seconds of the Q to disappear, which in total makes it around 30 seconds. Pathfinder's grapple has a variable cooldown, but the max grapple has a cooldown of 30 seconds. So although her bat might not be the most intuitive or gain you the most distance when you compare it to others, If you can master placing your bat in key spots like height and places that you can safely retreat to, you will be golden. There is still a lot of value that the bat can bring to the table even when compared to other movement characters. Another neat trick to know for Vantage is that you don't really need to pre-place your bat to where you want to jump. You can just hold your tactical button, and while it still will send the bat, you won't need to wait for him to be perched up there. There's this weird mechanic where you need to have LOS on the bat in order to jump. LOS means line of sight and is a very important term in FPS games. You want key information to be in your visual field. For example, in this clip I had Echo all the way over to the right side of my screen and I tried to jump near this beacon. However, it wouldn't jump or even bring the bat to the location because he wasn't in my line of sight. I instead had to wait and ping him over there. I think you need LOS at the very end of the jump so you can charge up the tactical ability while behind cover and then last second peek to get to Echo. That is why playing with cover is even more important because when charging your Q you won't be able to do much or shoot back. You can jump while falling down or jump off a cliff as long as you can see that bat and have LOS. When you start to run away from the bat, it will start to follow you, meaning that you essentially have a range of about 60 meters that he will constantly trail behind you. I think I recommend that you just recall him considering how you can then place him in front of you quicker and you won't have to travel from so far back, and he might attract enemies. Basically, it's not like Crypto's drone where it will be recalled if you're too far away. You can also heal while maneuvering Echo. There's a lot of intricacies with her, and I imagine that I'm barely touching the surface, but this is a high skill character with a high skill tactical. In many ways, Echo reminds me of the drone that Crypto has, and I can see a lot of overlap the two have just when placing them or throwing them out. Her ultimate is Sniper's Mark. I have some mixed feelings about this ability, but let's first discuss what it does. Your ultimate is a sniper that deals 50 damage the first shot, it tags/marks them, so they take 15% more damage from your squad, and the next few shots you land deal 100 damage. When the enemy is tagged, they will be revealed in a unique scan she has that cannot be seen through walls or smokes. Let me say that again, not seen through walls or smokes. This scan when she tags an enemy is not the same as Bloodhound or Seers. You have to have LOS in order for it to be visibly noticeable. You'll have a max ammo capacity of 5 bullets and it takes 40 seconds for each bullet to be loaded. I have hot drop before and within the first fight while landing managed to have a bullet or two. I think of this like a third gun that doesn't take an inventory slot. You will not be able to put scopes on the sniper, it automatically has a 3x and an 8x, which if you ask me is literally perfect for a sniper. And there is only a small amount of bullet drop. When compared to the longbow and sentinel, this gun definitely has less bullet drop and I believe, although I'm not 100% sure about this, faster bullet speed. So this and the charge rifle might be your new best friends if you're looking to learn to snipe. Some of the cons of the sniper is that in many situations having a repeater or scout or even a carbine would just flat out be better. You have potential to one clip an enemy, whereas this sniper doesn't always grant that. You have to land that second shot and even then there's a good chance that they won't go down. Also damage wise, I think it's too similar to the sentinel. I do think that I will land more shots and probably deal more damage with Vantage's ultimate, but it's really close to Sentinel and just looking at the numbers, a Sentinel does 70 per body shot and across 2 shots will deal 140. The ultimate only does 10 more damage. The Sentinel charge up will of course be better than the Vantage's ultimate, which is a little sad to say. Unless you're looking to team shoot someone, this most likely wouldn't be able to knock someone like a Kraber might. It would have been cool to see if it could break doors, kind of like Rampart's ultimate, even if it takes 3 or 4 bullets. Another con is that it has a laser sight visible to enemies. If you ADS with this weapon, enemies will be able to know where you're aiming, similar to Rampart's Sheila. This means that you can't really scout teams ahead without revealing your location. That is often the appealing aspect to a sniper with a big scope. You can see if there's a team perhaps camping a spot or how enemies from far away are rotating. However, you probably won't be able to do this with Vantage Sniper. Interestingly enough, Vantage has to interact differently with ultimate accelerants because pressing the ultimate button would just pull out her sniper. Instead, you have to go into your inventory and manually press the use button. I don't see a huge reason to do this. The accelerant might go better with a Seer, Bangalore, or just other legends. So it's probably a good idea to hand it out to your teammates. I will say, it's super cool that Vantage can be super versatile by perhaps carrying a shotgun, assault rifle, and sniper all in one, but the ultimate to me, while not useless, is perhaps a bit superfluous and just not needed. Some concluding thoughts for Vantage. I think having an aggressive playstyle will be more rewarding than playing as a support. Using the jump into a fight like a 3v2 and getting more entry damage while also placing the back to a spot you can retreat to will be the meta for Vantage, especially when considering the short cooldown. I can see a lot of pub stomping with this legend and I love that. Gather the info, tag an enemy, and calm your teammates to push is your job. I can see a lot of IGLs running Vantage over Valk or Seer, plus she makes a decent rash, she can jump into some really high places. I don't think she will be the best solo no-fill legend, something that I've been trying more of recently. She seems to be less useful without teammates. The sniper in particular gives out your location and your back can also give away your position. That is why I don't think you should abuse the trailing feature of Echo, because you can easily be spotted around him. The hitbox as well is a massive concern for me when I play solos. I try not to run these bigger characters like Caustic and Gibby. In ranked, I do see a lot of use from her kit. Everything we've gone over leads me to believe that she will be very active and you have to be very attentive with her. This of course is very rewarding and I expect a decent pick rate all the way through Predator. In pro play, this gets more interesting. Gibby has effectively been nerfed due to Maggie, so I don't think pro teams will use him. Valk also has been nerfed and I believe that pro teams will use her due to the recent ring changes, but it just won't be as common and she won't have the ridiculous ALGS pick rate anymore. If I had to guess comps, I can see Vantage paired well with Horizons for Gravity Lift, Newcastle to jump with his ultimate, and Ash for the port, and probably Seer for his scans. She rewards aggressiveness, which pro players know how to utilize, so if I had to guess, I think she will be like a medium meta. Not super meta, but like up there. You know, a solid 8.5 out of 10. If you watched until the end, thank you so much. If you can, leave a like. I literally wrote down 6 pages of script for this video so I can give an in-depth guide and comment. Tell me if you're going to play Vantage and what you think about this whole season. I got a lot of mixed feelings about some of the weapon changes that I'll soon go over. And also if you like this content, consider subscribing. It is free. Thank you once again and hope you legends have an awesome rest of your day. Peace out.